Well, doesn't that sound like so much fun? You can see this fun-filled show written in 1953 as a love letter to the Southwest for the first time in a major U.S. opera house right here in Phoenix. Joining us now, Angela Fouch. She's a soprano who plays the leading lady. She plays Lona Farrell in a beautiful love story. Great to see you.
Thank you.
I say it's a love story, Arizona Lady. That's the name of this wonderful play. Tell us about it.
Arizona Lady is a spectacular hybrid of operetta meets musical, meets opera. It is so delicious and cinematic and with lots of Viennese and Hungarian flair.
And you get to dress up like a cowgirl. Are you a cowgirl at heart?
I definitely am. I definitely am. And it's such a big change from wearing corsets and petticoats. I just think it's delicious.
I love it as well because when I was looking at your character, she really is kind of like you, kind of feisty
Absolutely.
and unapologetic. Is that what you love about her role?
I really do. She comes out with guns a-blazing, and what's so beautiful about her is she is so strong and she is so independent, but she's also beautifully vulnerable and special at the same time.
Yeah, that is a special quality, and it's a quality that you have because you have an opera background. Tell us about your experience and what you've done prior to this role.
Well, I had the privilege of being trained at the Juilliard School, where I trained for 7 years and then went straight into the opera business and did a lot of work in the United States and Canada, and then I moved to Europe, where I lived in Switzerland and spent some time also in residence in Vienna, and recently moved to Phoenix, Arizona in the last 2 years.
That's just so much like the real character. I mean, your real life is so much like Lona because she was in Vienna as well. How cool is that to play a role that you were so connected to?
It makes my job so much easier, I have to tell you. You don't have to dig quite as deep in your research. You can just be who you are, and that's really such a special thing as an artist,
so
just to exist.
So there you are as Lona. Look at you, grabbing.
Oh, goodness.
getting in the face of a cowboy right there.
Absolutely.
So what is her character like? Tell us about who she is and how you bring her to life night after night.
Oh, she is indeed a very independent woman, and she's got working in a man's world in the 1920s and being strong and beautiful and all of those things, but still being a boss. And how do you be a boss and still have that soul of a butterfly?
Right.
And so she gets to be both of those people and still try to find by the end how to balance those two things, which I think for strong women everywhere is still relevant.
Right, absolutely, even in today.
Absolutely.
Even in today's standards. And I want to ask you about this particular love letter that she wrote about the Southwest. So tell us how that came about.
Well, the piece is considered by the composer his love letter to Arizona, and you see just everything that we love as Phoenicians about our state is really there. Our beautiful skies, our special landscape, the camaraderie we feel with one another, and the great pride that we feel in being Arizonans.
That's right. And you being from New York, I mean, living in New York, and now you are a Phoenician yourself.
I am.
And so this is something you experience night after night. You were saying to me, just looking at the sunset, you can understand why he wrote this beautiful letter.
Oh, absolutely. When you're in your backyard with a glass of wine, watching the sun go down at the end of the day, you think, thank goodness I live here.
Right. So for those who've never been to an opera, what will they experience? What is that like?
Well, you know, this is the best beginner's piece for people that haven't been there, and it's because it is an English translation and there are English titles above the stage. You also do see a couple of different languages kind of interjected for some spice, but overall it is because it has so much in common with cinema and musical theater as well. All of those elements are present, making it really, really accessible and strangely familiar to us as music lovers. It's just great music.
Well, I like that you said that, because if you've never been to an opera, this might be a good starter.
Absolutely. And even for those who love it,
for
people that love operetta in particular, this is such a horse of a different color. Excuse the horse pun.
I like the pun. Good pun. Well, you're absolutely delightful. We wish you well in this role. It was made for you. It was crafted for you, Angela.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's give you some information. If you would like to check out the opera, you can see Arizona Lady at Arizona Opera this weekend, October 16th through the 18th. They are located at 1636 North Central Avenue in Phoenix. For tickets, you can call 602-266-7464, or you can visit them online, azopera.org.